Hello, so three ex-England footballers, Steven Gerrard.
And so Liverpool have got possession.
As indicated, there will be a minimum of 4 minutes.
4 added minutes. And Gerrard!
Paul Scholes.
Away by McCann. Scholes! Oh!
And Frank Lampard. And they all played in a similar era, but who is the best player out of those three players? It's a big topic in English football, and it's difficult to decide, I think. At the end of the video, I will reveal some information that I have on my history with one of those players. So please watch at the end of the video. But first, the language. So the first construction is this. It's about upper intermediate level. Intermediate, upper intermediate. So when we use this, the faster the player, the better the player. So it's a construction in English. You use the and the. So the more the merrier, the faster the better. But when you want to include a noun, so you have to have another the. So the faster the player, the better the player. But I don't think that, really. The faster the player, the better the player. It's just a simple way of saying something. If you want to add more information, so some people think maybe Paul Scholes is a better player because the more trophies you win, the better player you are. So here they are a subject verb, because these are different verbs. In this sentence, the faster the player, the better the player, is the same verb, the V verb, the B verb. The faster the player is, the better the player is. Some more comparative language here. So not as, so is not as, and here you would have an adjective, not the comparative. So maybe Gerrard is not as good as Scholes, for example. Or if you want a big difference, so Gerrard is nowhere near as good as Scholes, for example. Or Gerrard, if they are close together, Gerrard is just as good as Scholes, so they are the same level maybe. Or it's very close, you can use these, slightly or a bit. Gerrard is slightly or a bit better than Scholes, for example. Or Gerrard has, this is a nice phrase, Gerrard has a slight edge on, or Gerrard has the edge on Scholes. So this means that it's close, but it's very close, but one player is just a little bit better. Or you can use it as a verb, so edges and shades. Gerrard edges it, or Gerrard shades it. And if you cannot decide, maybe you can say, I cannot split them. I can't split them. They're equally as good. They are the same. They are just as good as each other. Okay, I'm going to talk about 5 areas of a midfielder's game and give points to each player in each category. Number 1, goal scoring ability. So here I am talking about in terms of or regarding finishing or arriving late in the box, because they are midfielders, so they need to arrive late in the box. And I think Frank Lampard's goal scoring record is much better than Scholes and Gerrard. Well, it's better than Scholes and Gerrard. So for me, Frank Lampard gets 3 points. 2 points, I think I can't split them. I've looked at the statistics and I can't split them. I think Scholes was very good at arriving late. I think Gerrard was a great finisher. If the ball dropped to any of them really, Lampard, Scholes or Gerrard, if the ball was dropping on the edge of the box, you expect it to go in the back of the net. I think now for Liverpool, if it's dropping to Henderson on the edge of the box, you don't expect it to go in the back of the net. So for me, I can't split Scholes and Gerrard. So Gerrard 2 points, Scholes 2 points. The next category is passing range. So passing is important for midfielders, and I'm talking about in terms of accuracy, but also in terms of range. So not just a Hollywood ball. A Hollywood ball is like a 60-meter ball that maybe does not find its target, but it looked good because it was a long kick. And Steven Gerrard is accused of this sometimes. But I think Gerrard has the best passing range. He can hit all different kinds of passes, the outside of his foot, his left foot, strike through the ball, fade the ball. So for me, Gerrard edges it, I think. Frank Lampard was not known for his passing, so I'm going to give Gerrard 3 points, Scholes 2 points, and Lampard 1 point. The third category is football brain. So here I'm talking about in terms of dictating the tempo. So that's a nice phrase in football. Or controlling the tempo, controlling the match from midfield. And I think it's an important feature of a midfielder's game. And for me, out of the 3 midfielders, Paul Scholes is the best at this. I think he edges it. I think Paul Scholes shades it. He was a very clever footballer, and he used to pass into the strikers, used to pop it round people, move, and he would control the tempo or dictate the tempo of a match better than Steven Gerrard. Frank Lampard was a little bit more attacking and operated in different areas of the pitch. I think Gerrard had a greater impact on a match, but in terms of dictating the tempo, Paul Scholes is a bit better than the other 2. So Paul Scholes 3 points, Gerrard 2 points, Lampard 1 point. Okay, the fourth category is another important feature of a midfielder, and this is tackling. Or more specifically, I'm talking about in terms of getting the ball back. So I think Gerrard did some crunching tackles. I never saw him lose a 50-50, really. He did some amazing tackles in his career. But in terms of getting the ball back, I also think Paul Scholes was very good. He was like a little terrier in midfield, and he positioned himself well. He intercepted passes. Frank Lampard was a strong player also. You couldn't shake him off the ball, but he didn't do crunching tackles so much. Again, I think because he operated in a different area of the pitch, he was a little bit more free in midfield. It wasn't his job to get the ball back as much. So for me, in terms of tackling, I think Gerrard 3 points, Scholes 2 points, and Lampard 1 point. Okay, the last category is leadership. So here I'm talking about in terms of work rate or an engine, the ability to get around the pitch for the full 90 minutes. And I think they all have good engines, and they're all good leaders for their teams. But Gerrard was the captain more than other players, and that does not mean he was better in that area, but people relied on Gerrard in Liverpool. So I think Gerrard 3 points. I can't split Scholes and Lampard, so I will give Scholes 2 points and Lampard 2 points as well. Okay, so the totals are on the screen, and Frank Lampard has 8 points, Paul Scholes has 11 points, and Steven Gerrard has 13 points. And I think that's fair, really. I think Steven Gerrard was a more complete player than the other 2. He would smash you at one end of the pitch and then smash one into the net at the other end of the pitch. You could say that I am biased because I am a Liverpool fan. Also, I went to the same school as Steven Gerrard. So Steven Gerrard was 40 last week, but I was 40 8 months ago. And so I was in the year above Steven Gerrard in school, but because my birthday was in August, I played in some representative teams with him. We won a few trophies together. I played against him a few times. I was centre midfield, he was centre midfield. And yeah, like I said, we won a few trophies. I remember one match, it was a final for the league's representatives, and we played all the other teams in the area, and we got to the final, and it was at Liverpool's training ground, and Steven Gerrard won the match for us, I remember. So I was playing in midfield with him, and he scored an amazing goal. He he went past 3 or 4 players and then hit it from the edge of the box, arrowed into the top corner, and we won the match. And then I won another tournament with him, and yeah, so I have some history with Steven Gerrard. So I am a little bit biased. It's been good to watch his career and how he has developed in his career and how he has carried himself in his career. I think he is a very respectful player. Even when he was young, he always would shake hands with the referee after the match, and he was a respectful and good competitor. In school, he was amazing at everything. He was good at tennis, he's good at all sports. So yes, maybe I'm biased, but for me, Gerrard is a better player than Scholes and Lampard. Okay, thank you for watching. That's it. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you think Frank Lampard is a better footballer than Steven Gerrard or Paul Scholes. Please comment below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I make new videos every week. See you in the next video.